Welcome everybody, we're Home Base Games and it's a Marvel Friday.
Release day.
Yeah, so we are getting the long-awaited Most Wanted.
The Galaxy's Most Wanted, to be specific. And we are finally delving into the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise with this game. So
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
I'm pretty hooked on a feeling.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be awesome if we could had the rights to be able to stream some of that music?
Oh, just play the soundtrack in the background, it'd be great. But that's okay, we can just pretend.
Yep. Yeah, so Guardians of the Galaxy, one of my favorite movies. Super excited for this content. I actually look forward to these campaign boxes more than anything.
Totally.
Just because always getting well, I shouldn't say always, but so far we've gotten 5 villains each time, 5 new scenarios, which gives you a lot of replayability and content in the game.
Absolutely.
Getting heroes is great and all, but you always need
Yeah, you gotta face new baddies.
no hero is good without a good villain.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's exciting. We get 5 new scenarios, we get 2 new heroes, and honestly, we haven't peeked a ton at this product, so we're gonna
crack it open.
just be a quick unboxing. We're gonna go through the cards and talk about them, and
yeah, and make sure you come back later to watch us play through it.
yeah.
So we've already kind of cracked into some of this plastic here.
And if you don't know, all of our live streams for Marvel Champions are every Friday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. It's just mostly multiplayer videos, but if there's other content you're interested in, leave us a comment and we'll consider doing them.
Oh, okay. So obviously, right off the bat, you get the special rule book and campaign rules, I'm assuming.
Yep.
So lots of good stuff in here. There's a couple of new symbols, it looks like. So we'll delve into that as we actually do our playthroughs. But it looks like it's similar to the other campaign book in that it's got these nice comic pages in here as well, which is very cool.
There isn't a ton of story with the campaign box, but like I've said before, this game is not meant to be Arkham Horror.
Right.
I know some people want it to be, but if it's Arkham Horror just reskinned, why not just play Arkham Horror?
Yeah. I mean, then you just like the Marvel skin.
It's
obviously,
Marvel Champions. It's a different game.
Yeah.
So.
Some good villains that we're going to face in here for this campaign.
Yeah, so the 4 villains, there's actually 5 bosses, but one of the bosses you actually fight 2 versions of. So
the Collector, right?
Yeah, so I believe the order is you start with, actually it's on the back of the box.
Or it's probably...
I think it's on the back of the box.
Is it?
Yeah, it has all the guys. And it is, I know Drang. Yeah, so Drang is I'm pretty sure is the first villain.
It is.
Then you fight the Collector twice.
Okay. Yep, that looks about
Then
right.
I think it's Nebula and then Ronin.
All right, 4 is Nebula. So then that would definitely leave Ronin the Accuser, the last one. So yep, that is the correct order.
So yeah, so there is 5 villains, and it's not like you're not fighting the same Collector deck twice. It's I believe it's actually 2 separate Collector scenarios. In the same way, when you buy the Green Goblin pack, you get 2 Green Goblins.
Right, just 2 versions.
Yeah, you get the mutagen formula, and then the I don't remember what the other one's called.
Yeah,
but
Risky Business.
Risky Business, yeah, there you go. So it's 2 different versions of the Green Goblin, 2 different versions of the Collector, and then you get Rocket and Groot.
That's right. So we'll take a look at their cards here and what they've got pre-built. So this is the Rocket deck. So Rocket, most people have probably at least seen this part, if nothing
almost
else.
all the cards have been spoiled.
Okay. So then we can maybe just, is it worth just dropping them on camera really quick, or do we just...
We can.
Yeah, might as well. You can always pause if you want to take a closer look at them.
We just probably don't need to read each card.
Yep. I've got a plan. Fantastic. Always love that. 2 copies of that. Emblem with reload. Can't even say that word. Resource cards. Battery pack. Skeleton. course, got to have some guns. Rocket launcher, fabulous. Couple of pistols.
So what's cool about Rocket, I saw this on another person's stream. That's why I know. So you just revealed all 15 of his cards, and if you guys were paying attention, there's no signature ally.
Yeah.
And the reason there's no signature ally is it looks like they've chosen to do something different with these two characters. They chose not to include signature allies, and instead they included a basic ally. One for Groot, one for Rocket. And the basic ally can only be used in a deck that features a hero with the Guardian trait.
Okay.
So Rocket or Groot will essentially, that basic ally can go in any deck that is Guardians of the Galaxy. So probably Drax, Gamora, all of them. So we do know that not all of the characters in this I guess this cycle, the Guardians of the Galaxy cycle, because we do know that not all of them are going to be without signature allies, because we have seen that Nebula is the signature ally of Gamora. So she still has a signature ally. But I just thought it was interesting to note that for these two characters, they actually just don't have a signature ally. So you're going to have to play this basic ally. And I think the reason they did that, I think they did that because this was like their second attempt at these two characters who are having like the team up partner effect. And I think they wanted to be so that if you played a 2-player game where Rocket and Groot are playing with each other, you just no longer just have a dead card in a card that's only a wild resource.
Right. That makes sense.
That's how it is with Wanda and
Pietro and the Ant-Man and the Wasp as well.
Yeah, I think this might be them making a change in design.
These are the other basic cards in Rocket's deck. And his aggression cards. New ally for aggression. A couple of chase and downs. That's a reprint as is Into the Fray. Looking Trouble.
That's a new card.
Yeah.
That card works very similar to Defender of the Nine Realms in the Thor deck.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a 0 costing card that lets you thwart off the main scheme only, but at the cost of milling the encounter deck to put a minion into play.
Sure. Okay, that's cool. Wouldn't be a Rocket deck without the Rocket picture card.
Yeah. Seems
appropriate. Yeah.
That's a good card.
Another new card here, Follow Through. Copies of that. Then a hand cannon. 2 copies of that as well.
More guns. It's
more
also
guns.
A restricted card. So restricted, we're starting to get a few more restricted cards. So restricted is actually something I'll probably have to revisit the rules on restricted. I think it's just
that's Rocket's obligation.
I think you're limited to just 2 restricted cards. I think that's the rules. We never really run into it.
Yeah, I mean, we have to check the deck building rules.
The only time we run into it is like Thor has a restricted card. But it's very rare.
So this is Rocket's obligation card. And then some of his nemesis cards here. That's his nemesis, Blackjack O'Hare, some psycho bunny, evidently.
I do think it's funny that in the, and I wonder if this has to do with the MCU at all, in a sense. In the movie, Thor is always making fun of him, calling him a rabbit.
Oh,
and
that's true.
Yeah, and then Rocket's nemesis happens to be a rabbit.
I didn't think about that, but that is a true statement.
I wonder if that was like a pun by FFG, because if so, that's hilarious.
That would be funny. Okay, so Groot's deck must be in here somewhere.
Yeah, it's here.
I just didn't see him on
right there.
Ah, okay, there we go. It misled me by the orange sleeve, the orange color on the back.
Oh, it's because of the
Nemesis set.
The Nemesis set.
Okay, look at Groot's deck here.
And sorry for the raw video, but this is a true unboxing. We're actually opening the packs on camera. The only reason I know about some of the cards is because I've watched some other people's streams of them, and I've seen a lot of the cards.
Right, so Groot is card here, and
this is back.
Oh, I guess, yeah, I didn't do the back of Rocket.
It's not a big deal. Everyone's seen the cards, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
At least anyone who would be watching.
Yeah. 2 copies of this Fruition card. And then if I remember, I think all of his cards are named I Am Groot.
It's not all of them. It's a lot of them.
It's a lot of them are named I Am Groot. So it'll be a little hard to, you know, differentiate between them just by saying them on camera. So you'll have to just kind of cross-reference the
I think there's
artwork.
like 5 or 6 cards that are just called I Am Groot.
Yeah. Groot stuff. That's, art looks cool. Oh, of course, a We Are Groot.
And if you look at that card in the picture, it's actually like him.
The scene. Yeah.
It's the scene of him like protecting everybody.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Agreed. Fertile Ground.
You know what that card does? The We Are Groot? It gives toughness to 4 different allies.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Take that, Doctor Strange.
For sure. I also like that the flavor text on every single one of these is I Am Groot. Former fashion.
Yeah.
I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Some living vines. Do they do things or do they just provide? Okay, so yeah, they do. Different ones provide different things. So this one actually has a mental resource. That one has a lightning bolt resource. Fine field. Fine. Those are all of his signature cards.
Yep, and again, no signature ally.
Correct, because here is the Rocket basic. That's going to come in with this.
I really kind of hope that they stick with that design of no, just in general, like maybe just not including signature allies and feature heroes, and just making like a basic ally or an aspect ally that can. I like it being basic that you could like switch between like rosters essentially.
Yeah.
Because I think it's kind of cool to be able to.
It's almost like an affiliation as opposed to just having one signature person that you fight with. Yeah. No, I agree.
Because characters change rosters so often, and allies change, and you know it'd be cool to have some flexibility.
Yeah. Groot comes as protection, which is not super surprising. Starhawk is the new protection ally character. Got Desperate Defense. Copies of that. Right. Fighting Fit. That's a new one. 3 copies of this guy as well. Couple power protections. Dauntless. Cool artwork. That's a new one.
Yep. I mean, the artwork's amazing because obviously it's all from Marvel Comics.
Right.
So you know it's going to be good.
Hard to Ignore. One. Dominable. That is his whole deck. His starter deck. His Obligation. His Nemesis. Fernax. Crazy dinosaur looking. Then 3 copies of this Fan the Flames card. Finally, his side scheme is Blazing and those are all of Groot's pieces.
Yeah, and it's nice that you just get, like, traditional, you get 2 40-card decks already pre-built. So, like, if you're new to the game...
Yeah, you can just literally do this, crack it, and play.
And literally just play. It's pretty simple. And maybe you're just not... I mean, I know people who just don't like to deck build.
Yeah,
so
totally. So Drang is the first villain that we have to face. Drang 1, 2, 3. His first main scheme, Terrestrial Invasion, side 1, 2, second main scheme. Boom. And then he's got an environment card, so I'm wondering if it's possible that similar to Ultron, he just has an environment that I didn't read these cards.
I'm assuming that's what it is.
That's oftentimes what happens, unless you have multiple environments, which it doesn't look like. These are Drang's cards. We'll just go through these so quickly. Couple of side schemes. See that new symbol popping up here and there. I think that's an accelerator of some kind, right?
It's a boost acceleration. So basically, as long as you'll see it's on like the first page of the rule book that we saw. Essentially, as long as that card with this symbol's in play, whenever you draw a boost icon, you increase the boost symbol by 1.
His deck is very small.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. The Collector. One of the versions of the Collector. Infiltrate the museum. That's I think that was the second. Okay. Scenario 1, Scenario 2, Infiltrate the museum. So yeah, this is the first version of the Collector. Number 1, number 2, and schemes for a lot. Good lord. Main scheme 1. Oh, he only has one main scheme. This is it. This is only one.
10 per player.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Oh my gosh, it goes up by 4 per player. Yeah. Oh no, it starts with 4 per player.
Starts with 4.
Goes up by 1 per player.
Yeah. Starting with 4 per player is nasty.
Starting with 12, yeah.
Yeah. His deck is also the same size. It's only cards of all. He only has 13 cards for his whole set. Same as these decks.
They're smaller, but I'm assuming you're putting a bunch of encounter cards in there.
Oh, he has a copy of Caught Off Guard in his thing?
He has his own copy? Ugh. That's crazy.
That's gross.
So you get to play with 2 Caught Off Guards.
Uh-huh. That's snap. All right, and then here is...
Is that normally an expert card, or is it a standard card?
It's a standard card.
Right, it's
yeah,
standard.
It's one of the standard ones.
We just almost always play on expert, so I just think of those 10 cards as one set.
Yes.
I can't remember which is which.
Which is which, yeah. So this is a new version of the Collector. So it's interesting that he's got like an A1 side, then an A2 side, then a B1 side.
Yeah,
so we'll have to play through the campaign how that works. Sort through why that is the way it is. This one has, so this is escaping the museum, or escape. I apologize. The first one was infiltrate. This one's, that's the first main scheme. Side B. Second main scheme. Side B. Then the third main scheme would be. This deck is even smaller. There's only 12 cards in his whole set. So that's interesting. I feel like with the Rise of Red Skull ones, like they actually seemed to, I feel like I remember them having the same amount, if not more cards. And there's others, but
actually
it seems like their decks are very light.
It depends. I mean, some of the decks were smaller in Rise of Red Skull, but you would put sometimes 2 or 3 encounter sets in one deck.
Yeah. So Nebula is the third villain that we face. Nebula 1, 2, 3. 2 schemes. Side 1A. A and her cards. So her deck is bigger. There's 22 cards in her.
Yeah, that's about probably a standard.
Yeah, that's a normal
I have heard, and I haven't watched all the playthroughs yet, but I've heard that this campaign seems to be noticeably more difficult than previous.
Honestly, the first one, there are a couple of hard villains, for sure. But it also felt like, I remember when we did it for the live stream with our Team Budapest combo, it really kind of crushed it.
Yeah.
There's actually a couple more Nebula cards that are just in another pack here.
I think the Rise of the Red Skull is an average difficulty, but I think also too, like, you know, people just got better at the game between the core set and then getting to Rise of the Red Skull. So.
Absolutely. So that's the last of Nebula's cards. Then Ronin the Accuser. For 1, final villain. 2. And 3. He has 2 main schemes. 1. 2. His cards. Got another typical size deck. Cards in his whole kit and caboodle here. Lots of free references, which makes perfect sense. Side schemes. Ooh, double accelerator one. Oh, another double accelerator one. Oh man. Might be a little rough around the edges, as they say. And then the encounter sets. So this one is Band of Badoon. 10 cards in this set. I don't know anything about the Badoons. Assuming it's an alien race.
We don't really know anything about, honestly, Marvel Comics outside of the movie.
Okay, so that's all the Band of Badoon. Then there's Galactic Artifacts. Oh, nice. Cloak of Hercules. Obedience Potion. Unders. Arian Power Band. A couple of side schemes. Not even gonna guess how to pronounce that. Something Monarch Egg. Magical Teapot. Oh ho! The Philosopher's Stone. And a Crystal Ball. Those are all of the Galactic Artifacts cards. Then there's Kree Militants. 9 cards in this deck. Lots of minions with lots of health. Ooh. This is legit all minions. Good lord. Okay.
Thor.
Yeah. Thor is right. 1 upgrade and a whole bunch of minions. Not even a side scheme. That's actually interesting.
God of Thunder for that one.
Yeah. The Menagerie Medley. Wanna crack this last pack? We kind of carries over into that one over there.
And honestly, we're going kind of fast and not like going through all the cards, just because there's 200 something cards.
Yeah, if you want to pause and read what the card is, have at it. But yeah, we don't want this unboxing video to be an hour and a half.
Just trying to give you a quick unboxing of all the components.
Yep.
Make it a quick video. Show you what you get.
Yep. Right, so that was Menagerie Medley. Then there's Space Pirates for Guardians of the Galaxy themed box.
I mean, I'm sure the
Also a lot of
theme
minions.
is probably pretty on point with the comics.
Yeah. Side scheme. Couple more cards. Ooh. Ship command. I don't know what this is.
Okay,
but
so this is the campaign stuff.
Start off with the Milano.
When you start, when you start a campaign, the Milano starts in play. It's like a card.
Cool.
And then a lot of those cards that I think there's instead of having upgrades, there's what's called market cards.
Okay.
And market cards you actually purchase throughout the campaign with units, which is like the currency from the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, and the market cards I think are the only way you're allowed to change your deck in between campaign.
Oh, that's a change that you can't modify your deck as you progress.
I think you literally have to pick a deck, and the only way you're allowed to modify is through those market cards. So I think they give you a bunch of market cards.
That's awesome.
What is it?
The Power Stone.
Oh yeah, that's if on the very first page of the rule book, literally the very first page of the game, it says yeah, welcome to the Galaxy's Most Wanted. The campaign expansion comes with 5 new scenarios that tell the tale of the struggle for the Power Stone, as well as 2 new heroes to protect the galaxy and try to make some extra units while doing so.
All right.
So this whole book is this is the.
I love that they're essentially leading up to over campaigns. We're just going to accumulate all of the Power Stones in upcoming campaigns, and then probably
all of the Infinity Gems.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, the Infinity Gems.
I think that's where the game's going. I think the game is going to they're doing the 10-year Marvel rollout. Where they're slowly gonna drop all the Infinity Stones,
which is fantastic.
And then we're gonna end with Infinity War
campaign.
Oh
my God, so good.
It's gonna be pretty crazy. If they pull that off, it's gonna be ridiculously epic.
100%.
And I don't even care if the Infinity War campaign is a $200 product. I will buy it.
Auto purchase for sure. So these are the market cards that you were referencing. They specifically say campaign the market. There's 28 cards in the market.
Yeah, so which is a lot more. If you remember the Rise of Red Skull, there was basically I think 16 cards, 4 for each player, or maybe even 12. And there was one you started with, and then you could I think through each.
But you had to be successful and or meet certain criteria in order to add
there was nowhere near as many cards.
Yeah.
And they were
they weren't part of your deck though. They were part of your setup.
Yeah.
So these might be a little different. And then if you
discarded them, you could put them in your deck during a game.
These are going to be function a little differently. We'll have to. I'll be excited to play through the campaign rules and how you incorporate these into the deck. Stuff. Okay, so those are the last of the market cards. Then there are campaign challenges.
Yeah, I don't know what these are.
I don't know what they are. There's sides. There's a couple of side schemes here.
I think they're all schemes.
Not all of them. It doesn't tell you how many cards there are. It just says these are those. Ah, yep, that is it. Because then there's one more at the very end of this pack. There's one more encounter set. Badoon Headhunter. That's it. That's all the cards for the Most Wanted expansion.
Yeah, so there are some new things. Looking at this book, components. So yeah, there's 265 total cards. 111 of them are for the players. 14 villain cards and 140 encounter cards. Yeah. So it's actually kind of a not too uneven split.
Yeah.
New keywords. We got hinder. I wonder if we can find a card with hinder on it.
Here's one, right on top.
Oh, perfect, hinder. So when a card with the hinder X keyword is revealed, you plus
place X threat on that card.
Yeah, and it kind of tells you that with the explanatory.
So I think what they're just doing with hinder is, you know, when it used to say when this card would come into play, place number of threat here per player. I think they're just making it into a keyword now.
Essentially, because it's saying like there's base 2 and then hinder. So
Hinder
it's
X.
yes. So it's just a different way of.
And it's not, and it's obviously not. It's a little different than the cards where hinder 3. So yeah, they just took the language and shortened it up. Correct. Insight, we already know insight. Yep. Insight is the the ability when a card has insight, you just put X threat on the main scheme. Yep. And then patrol is a new ability.
Convenient that they're on this last set here.
Patrol is basically like guard, but for thwarting.
For thwarting, yeah.
So as long as a character has patrol, you cannot thwart the main scheme. That's going to be super annoying. Yeah. Especially on an 8 health minion. That's crazy.
Yes.
Permanent. A card with permanent cannot leave play. Piercing, we know. Ranged, we know. Setup, we know. New keyword is stalwart. A character that is stalwart cannot be stunned or confused. So it probably will be on some kind of big bad minion. I don't think it would be on a. I can't imagine it would be on a player card.
I would think so, but
I would think it would be on some kind of big bad
we'll see it when
minion.
we play through the campaign.
Then we have team up, which is not new. Villainous. I don't know if that's new, but when a minion with the villainous keyword activates, you give it a face-down boost card from the top of the encounter deck. Yeah. When you resolve that minion's activation, turn the boost card face up and apply its boost icons to the minion's stats for this activation. If the boost card has a boost ability, resolve its effects, discard the boost card.
So essentially they draw a boost card the same way a villain.
Yep, a minion would. The only difference being you draw the card, you put it next to the minion. When the minion activates, you reveal the card. So, like, the boost effect is actually going to happen when the minion actually makes its thing, not when you draw the card right away. So that's the only difference.
Okay.
And then Victory X. When a card with the Victory X keyword is defeated, you place it in the victory display instead of its owner's discard pile. Okay. So it sounds like there's certain cards with this victory keyword, and instead of them going to a discard pile, they go to another zone.
Sure.
Don't know why it matters.
It probably matters as you progress through the campaign.
Yeah, the amplify icon, which that was like on the very first card, I think.
Not in this pile. It was on Rocket's.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Scheme. Yep.
So that icon right here, amplify. It says it increases the number of boost icons on boost cards. When a boost card is turned face up during enemy activation, add 1 additional boost icon for each amplify icon. So that's a boost plus 1.
Across the board. Yeah, that's nasty.
And then that's it. And then the rest of the rule book just tells you the campaign rules. So, and it's actually, the rules are not, there's actually not too many. It's only 2 pages long. And it basically just tells you that, looks like it tells you about the market cards. It tells you about cards from the encounter set. There's a whole explanation over here about units in the market. And then there's an explanation about the expert campaign. And then also persistent damage, elimination and victory, and deck customization restrictions. So it's literally only 2 pages of rules, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Just those 2 pages. Yeah, you just read that and boom, you're playing. So
good stuff. Well, make sure you guys come back as we start playing through this brand new campaign. I know I'm pretty excited to try out ROCKET and GROOT.
Yeah, I mean, Rocket seems... Actually, both heroes seem super fun to play. Rocket seems a little more tailored to my personality. So...
Fair enough. All right, well, thanks for joining us for this quick unboxing of the Galaxy's Most Wanted Marvel Champion Edition. And make sure you come back as we start playing through the campaign.
Yeah, feel free to give us a like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and you'll find out when we post new videos. And we'll see you every every Marvel Friday.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.